Hey guys, welcome back to NY Sports MC. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. Love to have you guys come in here, comment on some of these videos, and interact with me. That's what really gets me going about doing this channel. But today I wanted to come out with some of the rumors that have been coming out yesterday, today, about the draft, Jamal Adams. So, yesterday we had rumors come out that the Jets were looking very closely at Henry Ruggs, possibly with the number 11 pick. If you listen to, that was Rob Vacchiano of SNY who said that if you listen to everything he said they are looking at him very closely, but he also did mention that they're considering the tackles as well. So I don't think that's an indication that we're definitely going to select Ruggs at 11. I don't think that by the least. But it's going to be interesting. Of course, they can have interest in him. Ruggs definitely seems like a player that Gase likes. He kind of likes the faster wide receivers, and Joe Douglas was on record of saying how important it is to have dynamic speed on the team. So you can definitely see the interest in Henry Ruggs from a Jets standpoint. But you don't know. What I keep saying, I commented on a few these other great Jet YouTubers videos, especially about Ruggs, and this is going to be true for the other rumors we're going to discuss here. We're a week out from the draft, man. Your rumors are going to be flying high and heavy, and you always got to remember what's in it for the other people, right? What's their agenda? So there's going to be a lot of people that are putting things out as smoke screens. Maybe they're not smoke screens. The most important thing is the closer and closer we get to the draft, and we are 1 week out, the less likely that the information that we get is going to be accurate. Until you get right up to it, where you hear about the Bengals are definitely going to take Joe Burrow, or like last year, the day before, the day of, we started to hear Baker's going to go 1, and nobody thought Baker was going to go 1. That was actually 2 years ago. Sorry about that. But so things like that you start to believe towards the end. But a week out, this is where these teams are trying to hide what they want to do. They're trying to potentially get teams to think they're going to go in a different direction. So maybe the person they really want at their selection falls to them. Also, if teams want to move around, they don't want other teams to know exactly who they're targeting, because then it just drives up the price. So if people know that the Denver Broncos, for example, want to come up to the Jets pick at 11, as I had in my mock, to select CeeDee Lamb or Henry Ruggs or one of the wide receivers, they're not going to want that to leak, because then somebody else may come into the Jets or even to the Browns spot and try to offer more to jump in front, because maybe they value that person very highly as well. So don't believe anything going on right now. Would I be upset with Henry Ruggs? No, he's a very talented player. I think we can possibly trade back and still get him. I would prefer Lamb and Judy over Ruggs. But I understand why they would potentially want to go speed, especially if you're going to double dip. In the third, fourth round, you can definitely get one of those big body or one of those possession type receivers. Obviously, nowhere near a Judy or a Lamb, but you can get a complement. That's a better word, I should say. A complementary player to Ruggs in that third or fourth round. Whereas those speed guys, or elite speed like that, is just hard to find no matter where you are. I don't think it's really there in that third or fourth round, as much as a nice complementary piece would be. So I can understand why they may go with Ruggs. So also you hear the rumors about Jamal Adams and how the Jets have not reached out to him about a contract extension, which doesn't really surprise me. I know Joe Douglas came out and said that he wants Jamal to be a Jet for life, but the truth of the matter is he's still under contract for 2 more years. And then if you want to franchise tag him, that's a 3rd year, right? So there's no sense of urgency for the Jets, and I like them kind of standing pat here. I wish they would have some conversations with him, though, and just kind of explain to him where they see the vision. Maybe of the contract. I think the perfect spot would be the contract after this upcoming year, where you just have the 5th-year option left and then possibly franchise tag. I think that's a good spot to get your big payday. Because if you start paying these people after the 3rd year, it's going to set a precedent, and that's not something we want to do, right? The benefit of drafting well, and by no means am I saying McCagnon drafted well. He got lucky with Jamal Adams, right? He fell into his lap. But when you draft somebody well in the first round, or draft somebody in any of these rounds, right? And they, especially at first, you have that 50-year option. But and they're succeeding, you're supposed to reap those benefits of having them on that team-friendly deal. So for us to just, we have all the leverage right now with Jamal. Could I see them trading Jamal, or do I want them to trade Jamal? I've been back and forth on this. I love Jamal Adams. I love his work ethic on the field. I think he is one of the hardest workers in the league, and I don't doubt that if we paid him that he would be like Mo Wilkerson and kind of stop working. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he wants to be great. I think he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl, right? So I think he's going to continue to work. But it all depends upon the package, because he's a great leader. He is the heartbeat of that defense. So I can understand paying him when you wouldn't normally pay a safety that much money, because what he does extends beyond what a typical safety usually does. And like I said, he is the heartbeat of that defense with his emotional leadership on the field. But if we did get a package for him, and I think that's what the way Joe Douglas feels too. Joe Douglas has said he wants to keep him for life. So I say this to Jets fans: if we do trade Jamal Adams, I will probably be okay with it, because I think Joe Douglas values Jamal the way we all do, and he's not going to give him up unless he gives a king's ransom. So I see if we end up trading him, I think we're going to get blown away by an offer, something that we could not refuse. So that's the thing. If we can improve this team in a few different areas, I mean, you have to look at it. And that's what I love about Joe Douglas too, when he said, hey, if somebody calls, I'm going to listen. Because that, you never know. If it's going to improve your team, it's going to improve your team. You have to pick up the phone. You have to listen. And if you guys remember, I think I spoke about this in an earlier video, Joe Douglas is also a new GM. He has to build a rapport with these other GMs around the league, right? So if you're a GM of another team and you call me up and you're asking about Jamal Adams, I say, hi, I laugh at you and hang up, right? And I don't hear you out. And then let's say it's a trade deadline and the Jets are actually competitive and we're competing for a playoff spot and we need, I don't know, a corner, right? Because maybe we can't address corner. And now I call you back and I say, hey, I want your corner, XYZ corner. Nope, hang up. Because they're going to be like, well, why should I help you when you laughed at me the first time, right? So they have to build that rapport. So then Joe could easily say, hey, hear me out. Hear out my offer at least. I heard you out when you called for Jamal, when you called for anybody, right? So it's building up that rapport with these other GMs around the league so that when we need something, they'll listen to us as well, which will make it a little bit easier for us to try to trade with these people. And then the other rumor I saw as well is about the Jets looking to possibly trade back from either 11 or 48 to accumulate more picks in the third and fourth round. And I absolutely love this. I think the trade down should be at 11, because if you trade 11 to either the Falcons, the Broncos, somebody in that wheelhouse that wants to come up and get one of these players, in that mid-teens, you can easily get Jones from Houston, right? Tackle. I had him in my mock draft. Or you could probably get a Justin Jefferson. And it gives you a lot more flexibility in those later rounds to, if there's somebody falling, we have even more ammunition now to move up and get the player that we're targeting. I actually saw a report. I wish I wrote down who tweeted it out. But they ranked based off the trade charts who has the most trade value in all their picks. And the Dolphins were obviously one with all their first round picks. But the Jets were 11, so we have a decent amount of value already. If we trade back and accumulate more value, it'll really give us a lot of flexibility. If we do stand back at 11, depending upon the runs that happen in the beginning of the second round, I could see us trading back from 48 as well if some of those top tier guys have already been gone. Because you're really going to make your money in the third and fourth round. There's a lot of talent that's going to be around in the third and fourth round, between interior offensive line, where you can still use probably one more piece, wide receiver, running back, right? Corner potentially, edge potentially. There's quite a few guys in there. So I like the idea of that. But we'll just have to see. I hope Joe Douglas is very active. I hope that he has a sound plan and is targeting specific people. That has been a big piece with me, is go out and get who you're interested in. Don't pull the Mike McCagnon and say best player available, or we're going to trade back a million times and accumulate nothing, right? So best player available is great, but when you're on the clock, or not when you're on the clock, when there's a few spots before you, right? Let's say you're fifth, and it's coming down to you, and there's one or two players left at the position of need that's on the best available for you right now. Go up and get them. Go up and get that guy that you want. You see all the great teams, they do this all the time. They move around and they manipulate the draft in ways that they know is best, right? They'll trade down if they have a block of people that are available at that one spot, and they say, hey, we'll trade back, accumulate more picks, and still get one of those guys. But then you may see them again trade back up if it starts to fall another way. So you got to be aggressive in getting best player available, but also looking at your positions of need. Defensive line is not one of them. Interior defensive line is not one of them. And apparently McCagnon thought that was a big need every single year, because it seems like that's all he ever drafted. But again, guys, we're a week out from the draft. Take all the rumors with a grain of salt, as a lot of them are trying to be deceptive, trying to throw teams off. So let's just hang in there this week. It's going to be a lot of rumors about not only the Jets, but every team. And obviously Jamal Adams is going to be a huge rumor moving forward now as well, with what Schefter said today. No, there's no other sports going on right now due to coronavirus. The draft is the only thing that we have. So they are going to try to run with all different rumors and stories. So just hang on tight. Let me know in the comments below if there's something you want me to put out before the draft. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be in Jets 24/7's live stream of it. I will be bouncing out a few times, though, to make my reaction videos once we make our selections. But let me know if there's anything that you want to hear before the draft. I'm excited to see what will happen. And as always, man, Jet up.